Welcome to Intro to Photoshop and Photo Editing. Today we're going to learn about how to open Photoshop, what we have to work with, and how to do some basic photo editing. We are using Photoshop CS5, and I open that up, and this is what your screen would look like when you open. To begin with, I just want to show you what we have to work with in Photoshop, starting with our toolbar. Our main toolbar we'll be using is this left toolbar. All of these have different options. Notice that when you have a little black triangle on the corner, if you hold down that button, other tools are in that within it. So you can go ahead and select this, hold it down, and change the tool. So our main toolbar to the left will be here, and again, if you hold down and select another tool, it will change it. Now, the modifier toolbar is this bottom toolbar here, and it changes every time you select a tool. And so if I select this tool, this tool, this tool, notice that you have options to edit or change this particular tool. For example, the brush tool, I can select the type of brush I want to work with. I can select the size, I can select the mode. Opacity refers to how opaque or see-through my brush is, and then flow refers to how quick the ink will flow out of the brush. And that is our modifier toolbar. Above that, at the top of our screen, we have our top toolbar. And here we have different options to edit, select our image, filters, and a lot of other things. So while we are editing pictures or working in Photoshop, we will use all of our toolbars, our regular toolbar, the modifier toolbar, and our top toolbar. In addition, one of the main things we use is our swatches, and this is to pick colors. So swatches over here is one way to pick our colors. Another way to select your colors is at the bottom of your toolbar. You can select a primary color and also a secondary color. When you select your primary square, the color picker is open, and you can go around and pick a wide range of colors. When you like a color, you can press OK, and it changes your color. To toggle back and forth, you can go ahead and press the arrow key, and then go ahead and change the other color. So now you have two colors you can work with. Now, if a toolbox disappears, for example, if my layer channel box disappears and I no longer have my layers and I would like that, all of these are located in our window. So I can go ahead and select on layers again, and it reappears. So anytime there's the toolbar, maybe the toolbar disappears, you can go into the window screen and go ahead and select on what you would like to view. What I have open now is our basic options that we would need. Now, the layer box we'll talk about more when we get to graphic design, but this talks about our different layers that we would use, and it's located here. As we open new layers, we'll be able to add or delete layers. Now we're going to go ahead and open a new document to work with today to begin to edit. So I'm going to go ahead and open up one of my photos. So I'm going to go ahead onto my desktop and open my picture. So File, Open, and you can locate your image that you would like to open. Now I want to talk a little bit about your workspace. When it default opens, the border or frame is right up against your picture. So I like to drag my workspace out so I can see all of the edges of my photos and really see what I'm working with. When it's too far in, I kind of, the frame gets in the way. So I go ahead and open my workspace so that I have a nice edge around this. Now the first thing we're going to talk about is cropping. Now, as you take pictures, a lot of times the subject matter is not in the correct place, or you have excess background that you don't want. So cropping is one of the best ways to get rid of excess background or just change your composition so that it looks better. So the crop tool is over here. You can go ahead and set your height and width. So I'm going to go ahead and create an 8 by 10, which is a default size. It would fit into any frame. And then I'm going to go ahead and select my crop. Now once here, I could go ahead and move this around. I can also rotate it to make a 10 by 8 and play around with that. I can make this bigger, smaller, depending on what I want cropped. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the eyes in focus over here. So I'm using the rule of thirds, avoiding the middle. And once I like my composition, I can go ahead and press enter, and it goes ahead and crops that for me. So I'm going to go ahead and increase this, and now I have a new composition by cropping. Our next tool that we're going to use in editing is brightness and contrast, which can, sometimes your picture is too dark or too light, or it's like all in the middle. So I'm going to go into edit or image adjustments and select brightness contrast. And I pull this over, and what I want to do is I want to kind of change, and you can see if I decrease or increase, and then contrast. So I just play around with this to see. Contrast will make the darks darker and the lights lighter, and so it can make certain colors pop, or it can mute them down. So depending on the look that you want, if you want a softer look or more intense look, you can increase or decrease the brightness and the contrast, and it has a different look to it. So I like the way that that looks. The next thing I'm going to play with is saturation. So this is also in image adjustments, and I'm going to look at hue, saturation. Now our hue will change the color. So this is really crazy and artistic. And then saturation either gives you more or less color. So more color, or all the way to the left, no color would be changing to black and white. So that's one way to change a picture to black and white, or increase or decrease the saturation or hue. Another way to change it to black and white is also in image adjustments, and you can just select black and white, and it will change your picture to black and white. Now, another cool thing to do is use the dodge tool. So in, right now it was in burn, so in the dodge tool, it looks like a lollipop. What this does is it kind of blurs the background, or it burns the background into, or the dodge tool brightens it up a bit so that the focus can be towards the center, and the burn tool burns the edges. So I'm increasing my tool with the bracket keys, and so you notice I'm kind of darkening the outside, and what happens is visually the our eye is drawn to light. So you can go ahead and kind of, now our focus is drawn towards the face because I've kind of muted or burned the edge of my picture. And the last thing I want to show you is just how to color a black and white photo. So in order to do this, I'm going to zoom into the eyes. I want to color the eyes. And I'm going to select the brush tool. And I think I want these in a bluish teal. Now the color mode for coloring black and white only colors gray areas, so it won't color complete black or complete white, but it will keep our the values of light to dark. Now if I just brushed with the regular brush, it would cover over the lion. I'm going to step back to show you. If you want to color a picture and still see all the detail, the only thing you need to change is you want to select your brush. I'm going to select a soft brush, and I'm also going to select color. So this mode, when I color, if I colored the whole thing, you would be able to see all of the details still. You still want to color in the lines because if you color out, it kind of looks a little crazy. but you're able to see all of the details using this. So it looks more natural. Not that this color is natural, but it looks more natural. Now I'm going to go back a couple steps. So when you color, you want to be specific. You don't want to color everything, but sometimes it's really cool just to add a touch. So I'm actually going to color the eyes. And what that does is it just creates a really unique look to my black and white photo so that my eye is drawn to the lion's eyes. And there you go. Those are some basics for cropping and editing your photos to make them more unique or make the composition better. Thanks for watching.